Welcome to Sports Talk with Steve Jones, the daily talk show with the voice of Penn State football and men's basketball. You never know what special guest may stop on by any given day. Now here's the man of the hour, Mr. Steve Jones.
All right, great to have you with us on the show today, and the NBA draft. We'll have round one tonight. Mike Rhodes practiced his team this morning because Mike Rhodes is going to New York to be with Jan and Conan Niederhauser tonight for the draft. It's interesting. He is somewhere between 27 and 35. I believe the Clippers sit at 27. I don't know if you've got that in front of you or not. But that's where they draft. Remember when Penn State went out, I should say remember because I don't think fans know. Penn State went out to California and played UCLA on a Saturday, and Yannick couldn't play. He did some shooting work, limited in Pauley Pavilion.
Brooklyn, looks like, sits at 27. Brooklyn, Celtics, Suns, and...
Where do the Clippers sit?
I wonder if the Clippers... Do they not have a first-round pick?
Okay, well, where are the Clippers in the second round then?
Yeah, the Clippers gave up their first-round pick to the Thunder, pick 24.
Okay.
Let's see where they sit at second round.
Because I think that they become a very interesting...
Well, the question becomes, do they have a draft pick?
Yeah, they do.
Is that the Clippers logo? What is this? There's a logo that is unidentifiable at the end of the first round and then pick 21 of the second round. Let me see if that would be the Clippers logo. Clippers used to have a very simple logo.
And the last thing we need to do is have you.
The Clippers, that is the Clippers logo. They pick 30, and then they pick in the second
30,
round.
which is the last pick of the first round.
What a horrible logo. Good Lord. Remember when they used to say LAC on the logo? It was very easy to identify.
Yeah.
My goodness. What on earth is that?
The reason I bring them up is this. Penn State played UCLA on a Saturday. Yannick did some late shooting on Friday and did a little light shooting, but we knew he wasn't going to play against UCLA at Pauley. On that Sunday, though, Penn State practiced at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood, which is where the Clippers, that's where their new home is, just right near SoFi Stadium, just down the street. And Yannick did limited work, but the Clippers had the Clippers, like some of their people were there, and they talked with him. They wanted to, get a read on him. And they're sitting at 30. A lot of people are saying he might go 35 to the Sixers. I
don't know about that. I think
the team I'm looking at are the Clippers.
Yeah, I think
Now, it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter. If that were to happen, I was talking to Scott Pera this morning, the basketball general manager. Maybe it was. I think it was yesterday. Scott and I talked, and I said highest draft pick they've had. I said, I said I don't know what you have to say about what Jesse Arnell was drafted. I have no idea. In 1955 or whatever it was. I said, but the highest draft pick Penn State's had has been Jalen Pickett at 32. I say he's not the last draft pick because that same draft Seth Lundy was taken, 46 or something like that by Atlanta. And I said, Yannick could eclipse that. And I know yesterday Mike Rhodes was on FaceTime with him, so I got at least a chance to wave at him and tell him hi. Told me I told I said, Yannick, you earned this. And So we'll find out tonight. We know Cooper Flagg's going 1. I'm pretty sure that Dylan Harper's going 2 to San Antonio. And then after that, the wild card ends up being Ace Bailey.
Yeah, because I think 3 and 4 have the potential to be.
I mean, Bailey's the wild card because it seemed like he'd been locked into that third spot for a long time, and then he's had a rather bizarre workout and interview. What his ideas of workouts and interviews are a little bit
different than a lot of others. Yeah. And I think because of that, 2 other guys I thought have rose up in the draft above him in a lot of places. I think obviously you have the guy from Baylor, Edgecombe.
There's a lot of people saying Edgecombe could go to Philadelphia. There's a lot of people in Philadelphia like, no. I will give the Sixers credit.
I like Knipple better. But
I like Knipple a lot better. Not even close. But that's me. So Yannick goes, and he's going to be in that gray area. He's either going to be late first round, and I keep looking at the Clippers at 30.
Yeah.
Right? Despite the bad logo.
Okay.
And then I'm looking.
Can't even identify.
Then I look at the first 4 or 5 picks of the second round, which is tomorrow night. I mean, the draft used to be one night. It's no longer that way. It's a 2-night extravaganza now. So let's see. And that's the one I keep looking at over and over again. All right? And part of it is I know that, like I said, when Penn State worked out at the Intuit Dome, the Clippers people hung around a little bit. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he is... Yannick is just a terrific guy, and very team oriented. Works hard in his game. Has great footwork, quickness. Yeah. Brent Scott did a great job with him. In fact, you look at the 2 big men that Penn State has had in the first 2 years of the Mike Rhodes era. Qudus Wahab and Yannick Niederhauser. Look at the improvement.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
From the day they walked in the building to the day they left. In a year each. That tells you about Penn State's ability, and Brent Scott, of course, would be with the big guys, their ability to work with these people and make them better. I mean, a year ago, a lot of people are like, "Oh, why did they get this Yannick guy for?" It's like, I watch practice. You know, I mean, I went to practice this morning. Right, I watch practice a lot, and last summer, I remember going out to speak a couple of times in August, and eventually, you do after the football stuff, you slip in some basketball stuff. And I said, Yannick is going to surprise everybody. Oh, I don't know why we got this guy. I said, have you ever seen him play? And, of course, I got, no. Because for obvious reasons, Northern Illinois is not on TV that often, if at all, except during the MAC tournament.
Right.
And so I understand that part. And I remember watching him last summer saying, I think I said to Mike, I said, I give you a lot of credit here, but I said, I got to ask you something. How did everybody miss on this guy? Questions you can't answer. You're just fortunate you have them.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the one I'm looking at. I'm looking to see what will the Clippers do. I think the Clippers will be the difference between Yannick being a first-round pick and being a second-round pick. If they decide to go a different direction, then obviously he'll be a second-round pick. But I think the door might be open there. And what is Yannick doing with his money here? He's trying to get money so he can have his brother come over here from Switzerland. Brother wants to play football. All right, met his brother. Brother, terrific kid. Speaks very highly of you.
He's in the minority.
No, not a great judgment character. Brother's a terrific kid, and that's what Yannick was doing. He was saving his money, so eventually his brother can come over here and maybe play high school ball here, high school football here.
Nice.
I mean, that's,
I think,
I mean, there's I think people think that athletes blow their money. Oh, they got money, they don't know what to do with it. And in some cases, that is true. But most of the time, very responsible with it, very caring with it.
Agreed.
It just depends on who you are.
Yeah, it depends on who you associate yourself with, too. You get with the wrong agent, you get with the wrong promoters, you're in a world of trouble.
Crowd.
Absolutely.
It's like with anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, you're cheap. I mean, but
that's right.
I mean, you don't give anything up. It's unbelievable.
I think when you look at picks 27 to 35, I think he's I don't want to say he's a lock, but very, very, very good chance.
Right.
The Nets obviously are going to have 5 first-round picks or somewhere around there. They pick 27. Celtics pick 28. They're going to need a big man. I think Raynaud, if he's still there, will probably be their option, but he's still they need a big man. The Suns need a big man at 29. Clippers at 30. Then you get to the second round. Timberwolves are the only team at 31 that I think they probably stay away. They don't really need one.
Nope.
Celtics, I think either at 28 or 32, take one. The Hornets, I think, are a very good chance. I think if he doesn't go to the Clippers, I think the Hornets are a very good shot at 33.
Yeah.
Then they pick again at 34. And then at 35, the Sixers are in need. And then you get to the Nets again. So I think, I don't want to say he's a lock by any means, but the teams that pick in that vicinity, very good chance he gets drafted there. It's
you want to talk about that fancy word upside, but I mean I think his best days are ahead of him.
I agree.
I think if he had come back here, I think he could have put together a spectacular season here. But I mean, in the end, he went to the draft process, and in the draft process, he made himself a commodity that people want.
Absolutely.
I mean, you have to applaud that. I mean, it would be nice if he came back, great, but I'm sorry, all I can do is root for the guy.
Agreed.
And
Absolutely.
Penn State's a big part of why if he was still at Northern Illinois, he is not in this position to be drafted today because he went to Penn State and he worked with Mike Rhodes and he worked with Brent Scott and Jamal Brunt and Joe Crispin and everybody there, okay? Because he worked with all of them. And Jimmy Martelli, let's give Jimmy some credit
Absolutely.
too. Right? Okay? Because he worked with all of them, he became an exponentially better player. They unlocked what made him special. They ran the right plays that made him special and worked with him on a couple of deficiencies that have made him better. And I mean, he's got a shot tonight to maybe be Penn State's first ever first-round draft pick. All right. So that is tonight.
And he does go to the Clippers, and let's say he does. He's got a great staff there. And obviously, you have Tyronn Lue there. You have Van Gundy, I think, is an assistant there now. Bryant Shaw is part of that staff. You have a lot of veteran leadership that is a part of that staff. So I think that is a good spot for him. I think Charlotte would be a good spot for him. They're an up-and-coming team. They need help.
Well, it's Lee's the coach there.
Yeah.
I remember he played at Bucknell.
Yep.
I mean, Pat Flannery's very proud of the fact that Charles Lee is down there as the head coach. And has done, and by the way, everybody tells you Charles Lee's done a great job with Charlotte. He had been on the staff with the Celtics when Charlotte hired him.
Yeah.
So good for him. I mean, that's terrific staff. And LaMelo Ball is terrific player. You know, he has to fight through some injuries sometimes, but he is a terrific player. All right, so the draft is tonight. Cooper Flagg will not have to wait long. And by the way, did you see the Kyrie Irving is not going to go the max route.
I saw that.
He's going to sign a 3-year deal with the Mavericks. He's going to stay there. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a better situation for Cooper Flagg because you do have Anthony Davis is already there. Kyrie Irving is there. It's really not a bad team.
No, they have, from an image perspective, they've got, hopefully Flag can repair what they need to repair there. I think that's their biggest issue at this point.
Except here's the issue in terms of they got help repairing their image when the Lakers didn't do well
in the playoffs. Absolutely,
in the playoffs, and Luka's defense was exposed in the playoffs. It's almost like one of those we kept telling you.
Mm-hmm. There's definitely things about there's things Luka needs to work on. There's no question about it. Defense is a big part of that. What they got in that trade, if Anthony Davis can stay on the floor and play 82 games or even 70 games, he's a great player. It's just a matter of getting him healthy and keeping him healthy. That's been the complete Achilles heel of Anthony Davis from the time he was at Kentucky to now. That's where he's got to do better there. You get him there, you get Flag there, you get Irving there, you have a little bit of I'm not going to say you have a big three, it's going to win you a championship, but you have a good nucleus you can build around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see. Sam Vinci has his latest draft here from the Athletics. So what does Sam have? Now, everybody's going to get one right.
Sure. I would hope they get number one right.
Yeah.
It's about as sure of a number one as Shaquille O'Neal was.
Cooper Flag. Dylan Harper, 2 to San Antonio.
Yeah,
he's got B.J. Edgecombe to the Sixers.
I think it's 1 of 2 there. I think he's one of the two options.
Says Philadelphia's done an amazing job of muddying its draft, its potential decision. Explains the entire franchise. Con Knipple to Charlotte.
Yeah, I think that's probably where 3-4 is.
This kid's a talented player. You ever see Jeremiah Fears play for Oklahoma?
Okay, he's a good player.
I mean, his brother plays at Michigan State.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Fears is really good. 5 to Utah. Ace Bailey, 6 to Washington.
He fit the Wizards.
I'll tell you right now, you are now in exile.
He wanted to move too far.
Exile.
He really wouldn't have had to move too far. He worked out for the Sixers.
Well, he's a Chattanooga kid. He's not a Jersey kid.
No.
Trey Johnson of Texas to New Orleans he has. Okay. Kamen Molash, the center, the 7-footer from Duke at 8 to Brooklyn.
So Duke's going to have probably several picks in the top 35 because Proctor's going top 35, I would think.
Colin Murray Boyles from South Carolina, 9 to Toronto. Derek Queen. I like Derek Queen.
Maryland, yep.
The 6'9" kid from Maryland going to Phoenix. And look, at Maryland, he didn't have to do a lot of defensively, but he is a very, very productive player. I like him a lot. Carter Bryant, Arizona to Portland. A thing from the German league to the Bulls. That'll excite everybody in Chicago. They're like, who?
They excel at drafting international players. I think they have drafted pretty much, and they've missed on pretty much quite a few of them other than Tony Kukoc.
Kasparas Yakashonis from Illinois going to Atlanta. Berenguer to San Antonio, the 6'10" kid. Oklahoma City, Cedric Coward, Washington State. Memphis, Danny Wolf from Michigan. It's interesting. I watched a lot of Wolf and really, really liked him. The one game he was lousy in was the Penn State game. When Penn State played him, he was lousy that night. Right? That's about the only time I saw him play a lousy game. It was the one I saw him play in person. That's why I give him an absolute pass because you can have a one-off. Well, he was not very good that night. Thomas Sorber, Georgetown in Minnesota. Wonder if A-Rod will make the pick. Now he's officially the part owner. Asa Newell from Georgia to Washington. Igor Demin from BYU to Brooklyn. Walter Clayton, very talented guard from Florida, led them to the national title, goes to Miami. Liam McNeely from UConn to Utah. Brooklyn with another pick.
You'll be hearing that a lot in the first round.
Right. Well,
they got a lot of picks.
Look, when you have a lot of picks, you can do this. Will Riley of Illinois, I'm not crazy about him as a player. Look, he's a good offensive player, but okay. New Orleans, Nolan Traore from France. It's not good when they say he played for San Quentin. It doesn't. Okay, it's Saint Quentin, but it's pronounced San Quentin.
Who will be the first to botch that? I guarantee you there'll be a long list.
Oklahoma City takes Noah Penda from Le Mans. Nick Clifford from Colorado State, 25 to Orlando. I like it. He's a good player. I think he'll have a good career in the NBA. Maybe he won't be great, awesome, and incredible, but he'll have a good career. Maxime Renaud from Stanford to Brooklyn again. Brooklyn will pick Drake Powell, it says here, from North Carolina. The Celtics, Ryan Kalkbrenner from Creighton at 28.
Yeah, they need a big man.
Jace Richardson to Phoenix at 29 from Michigan State. And they got Hugo Gonzalez, 6'6" wing from Real Madrid, going to the Clippers. Okay. Now, he is not as high on Yannick as some people here. Rasheer Fleming, St. Joe's to Minnesota. Tyrese Proctor, you talked about, to the Celtics. Zion James from Duke to Hornets. The Hornets then take Ben Sheriff from European player.
The Hornets, I thought, would maybe be that spot. If the Clippers don't take him, I thought the Hornets could be that spot.
Cam Jones, Marquette at 35. Anson Yang from overseas to Brooklyn. Chaz Lanier from Tennessee, good wing. Detroit. Janai Broom, San Antonio Spurs out of Auburn. Elijah Martin from Florida to Toronto. Boy, he goes deep in here. He's got Yannick going to Sacramento at 42. This doesn't match up with what I know about. Does not match up. Anybody else in here that's in true? Ryan Nebhard, 59, last pick to Phoenix. Vlad Golden, Michigan to Orlando at 57. Amari Williams, who played at Drexel, then to Kentucky at 55, going to the Lakers. Brooks Barnheiser, Northwestern, Utah. Brooks a good basketball player, really good. Clippers, Chucky Hepburn. I'm not a big Chucky Hepburn guy. Never have been. I think he's a flopper. He's a whatever. I'm just not. John Tanji from Wisconsin to Memphis. Jameer Watkins, Florida State, goes to Cleveland. This is what he has on his picks. Anybody else here intriguing? No, not really. Ding, 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 ding. No. So that's one man's opinion on the draft. Yeah, we'll see. I'm really going to start zeroing in once I get to 30. Now, I'll have to listen to it on the radio tonight. I have a Spikes game up at Williamsport, so I'll have to be driving back and listening to the draft, which I will. But there you go. The NCAA basketball tournament. Well, before we get to that, another special O'Neal Cruz moment last night. And to his credit, he understands.
Well, he didn't understand the moment of the game.
Right.
Lord.
There's one out, runner on first. He grounds it to short. They flip it over to second to get the lead runner. He thinks there's two outs, so he stops running. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a double play. Don Kelly, not enamored with watching O'Neal Cruz. Cruz explained to him he thought there was two outs. Kelly explained to him that's not how we play here. You play hard no matter what. And he benched him the rest of the game. I think it happened in the 8th inning.
Yeah.
Benched him the rest of the game, and Cruz told the media afterward, he says, I'd have done the same thing too. Okay? So at least he's mature enough to know that I botched it.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it wasn't a good night for the game of baseball last night. Obviously, the teams that don't draw fans to begin with did not have a great night.
No?
Obviously, the Chicago White Sox. But you hear this story about taunting Ketel Marte's late mother?
Yeah.
My
I
lord.
heard about that.
Yeah, we've made this point several times on the show. Just because you have a ticket, guys and girls, that does not mean
Jaron
does
Duran.
not entitle you
Jaron
to.
Duran was in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And got taunted after bravely had come out and talked about his struggles and about whether he wanted to keep living or not.
Yeah,
and he got taunted in Cleveland. Like, what are you doing?
That's awful. It's absolutely awful.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
I don't get this.
You can heckle a player playfully very easily.
Sure.
And players feed off of that. There is a difference between that and crossing the line in a big way, and people should not even have to say, well, what's it take to cross the line? You know what it takes to cross the line, for crying out loud. If you have to ask, yeah, exactly.
If you have to ask that, you are an extremely stupid person.
Exactly.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So I'll tell you about, you talk about like heckling playfully.
Yeah.
2004 World Series. I'm sitting 5 rows off the field, pesky pole, right field, Fenway Park. Game 2. Larry Walker, now in the Hall of Fame, playing right field for the Cardinals. They had acquired him from the Rockies during the season. It's in my row. I'm at one end of the row. This guy's at the other end of the row. Okay. And the entire game, he's yelling out, Walker, you're too shallow. Walker, you're too deep. Walker, you got to play him off the line. I mean, this is every inning. He's telling him how to position himself. We get to the 8th inning. The Red Sox are up 6-2. We finally, and of course the Cardinals, they had the red hats, the grays, right? And they had the red shoes. And he looks out, he says, Walker, it's the 8th inning. For God's sakes, turn off the shoes. And even Walker bent down and started to laugh. Now, is there anything wrong with that?
No, not
Zero.
a thing. Not a thing.
Not a single thing wrong with that.
Not a
That's
thing.
playful, right? Anyhow, and Walker ignored him all night till he made the comment about the shoes. When he made the comment about the shoes, even Walker had to stop and start. And we all laughed. I mean, it was just because it was just that funny. It was just that funny. But that's the playful part.
Sure.
What was the guy in Washington? Robin Ficker? Was that his name? Who did all that taunting behind the bench for the Bullets than Wizards?
Yeah, I can't remember his name though.
I think it was Robin Ficker. And it's just, he was relentless during the entire game. But that doesn't mean that I saw a feature on him. I mean, I don't understand why you want to go to a game and be an idiot for 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours, yeah.
That's me.
Yeah, especially what you pay nowadays to go to a game. That's now
I'm there to have a good time.
Yeah, exactly. Now there are athletes that bring it upon themselves. Don't get me wrong; it goes both ways. Lomas Brown, you go back to the playoffs. They play the Eagles, guarantees victory at Veterans Stadium. What do you think is going to happen when the Lions are down 38-7 and the guy guaranteed victory? Yeah, he's going to get heckled quite a bit, and he did.
Yeah, the man was ejected last night, according to the Diamondbacks.
As he should have been.
At the request of Arizona manager Torey Lovello and bench coach Jeff Bannister. And, Jeff did a lot of work here with the Spikes.
Also the Pirates, yeah.
Yeah, but with the Spikes, too. Yep. Jeff was here a lot, so I know Jeff a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Not a lot, but I know him a little bit. The individual is a 22-year-old who was very apologetic and remorseful after the fact and admitted to being very inappropriate and stupid with his comments, according to a source.
Yeah.
Okay. Marte did hit a solo homer in the game. His mother died in a car accident in the Dominican Republic in 2017. Lovello said he heard what the fans said as Marte was batting in the top of the seventh inning. Marte put his head down, and I could tell it had an immediate impact on him for sure, Torey Lovello said. He reacted as a dad would and consoled Marte during a pitching change in the bottom of the inning. I could see he was sobbing. It hurt. He says, I told him I love him, and so I'm with you. We're all together, and you're not alone. Marte was a very talented player.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
No matter
very
what
talented.
happens, what happens or what is said or you heard, that guy is an idiot. It shouldn't have an impact on you. Geraldo Perdomo said he felt mad about the incident, emphasized the need for the league to take action. That can't happen, said the Diamondback shortstop. He says, we can't continue to do that stuff here in Major League Baseball. He said the fans should be banned for sure.
And he is. Yeah, White Sox banned him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and and look, he's 22 years old. I will say that that doesn't excuse him. That doesn't excuse better. It doesn't matter what the age is, but he's young. He made a mistake, and hopefully he learns from it. I think that's the biggest thing. Is you just can't have that kind of behavior at a sporting event.
My recommendation to the fan would be this: sit down and write a letter to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
An old-fashioned letter to him.
Be remorse.
I mean, be simple to the point about, and I think Marte would appreciate it.
Absolutely.
That what what you did was wrong. I mean, now, I just think that
absolutely, and that's Look, we are human. I don't think that could be overlooked. That being said, there are spots where
there are moments where I feel you're robotic.
That's true too, but there are moments where I think you look back on and you just have to be better, and this is one for the fan.
Yeah,
without question.
There's been too much of this lately.
There's way too much of it.
Even as something as simple.
There's way too much of it.
Even something as simple in the World Series as the two guys in right field that try to rip the ball out of the glove of Mookie Betts. Like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, it's literally
right, and then acted proud of it.
Yeah, and that's
the part you sit back and go, what are you proud of? I mean, you're an idiot.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right, NCAA basketball tournament. I've been saying the entire time that if it's me, I keep it at 68.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're going to expand, go to 76. And the reason why they should just go to 76 is I'm of the opinion, like same thing with the college football playoff. Don't dance around 14. Just go to 16. Why? Because you're going to do it anyway. Just
absolutely.
Do it now. Okay? Same thing with this. Don't go to 72. Go to 76 because you're going to do it. Just do it now. And I think you set it up in such a way where you would have one first four in the East, Dayton, one first four in a more Western location, right? Just for logistics. And you do one of two things. You either have all four games in Dayton on a Tuesday and all four games at whatever other location on the Wednesday. Or you do two in Dayton, two in the other location, then the next day two in Dayton and two in the other location. I mean, just something, whatever combination, and get them into the tournament. They will not all be 16s playing each other. Right? That's one thing about Dayton that we've seen. They're not all 16s. North Carolina played in Dayton last year. UCLA a couple of years ago played in Dayton. Okay? Last I checked, they weren't 16 seeds. Okay? And I think that is something, again, I'm of the opinion, you're going to do it anyway. Just do it now. The key will be, is for them to do it is, can they do it in such a way where the cost of doing it is covered by the TV networks? And they've been talking with both Warner Brothers Discovery, Turner, and CBS for several weeks now about this. Now, CBS has never done the first four. Okay? It's always been Turner that has done it.
Yeah.
This would also include the women's tournament. And they've been doing this for weeks to months now. They've been negotiating with the TV people. The men's tournament went to 64 in 1985. Got to 65 then for a period of time. That was when the Mountain West was formed, remember? They had to, they didn't want to take away at-large bids.
Yep.
So when the Mountain West broke away from the WAC, so now both the WAC and the Mountain West were there, they expanded to 65 with one more automatic qualifier. And according to Charlie Baker, they've had good conversations with the media partners. Well, they need to. They can't really do this unless it's covered. I mean, that's what happened with Oregon and Washington in the Big Ten. The Big Ten went to Fox and said, can you cover them for the next 6 years with half shares? And said, yes, that's how they got in. Okay? One of the logistics would be expected the addition of one additional site, such as Dayton in the men's tournament. ESPN reported in February that a location would be expected to be outside the Eastern time zone. So, I mean, that fits with what we just talked about. Okay? So that's where they are. They say that decision will be made in the upcoming weeks. Now, what would the women's tournament do? I don't know. Is the women's tournament at 68 or 64?
I thought it was 64. I'm trying to think.
Because I don't think they have a first four, do they?
I don't think so either. That's what as soon as you said that, I didn't think so.
But the women's tournament would have to go to 76. You got to make it even. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was only 64.
Yeah, just look at
that is 68.
the women do have a first four. Okay, my apologies.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all. I feel bad saying that, but I thought it was 64 too.
It made no impact on me as
no.
I don't even know. I couldn't tell you in a million years. The first
I couldn't tell you who won the first four any year. I have enough trouble remembering what men won the first four unless they made it far.
Yeah, VCU.
VCU, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, Mike was the assistant coach on that team. Again, feel strongly that I'd rather see it stay at 68. It works. Okay. I think it's exciting. It's fun. But I also know you're going to expand it. Since you are going to expand it, and you have a driving desire to expand it, then you might as well go to 76 and not say 72, because eventually you're going to get to 76 anyway.
Yeah.
Huh?
Absolutely. Yeah, you're going to get 76 anyway.
Yeah. I mean, since I think you're already like down the road somewhere, you want to get to that number, you might as well do it now. Same thing with the college football playoff. No, let's talk about 14. No, let's talk about 16. I mean, you're going to want to get there anyway, so you might as well do it now. That's how I view it. And logistically, it works out. Because you already know how the first four works out. So if you're going to add 8 schools, that's a second first four. So you might as well just let it work out. Right?
Sure.
That's what it comes down to. I mean, you already know the formula to make it work. You don't have to jerry-rig the tournament in any way because you already have it in place in one region of the country. So, yeah. Oh, that's the next part. and we'll wait to see what they do with it.
Yeah, it's a matter.
And look, let me give you the other reason for expanding the tournament. Here's the other reason. We need a side reason to talk about this. It probably is important to get more money from the TV partners to do it because you have to cover the cost of it. And then a little bit more. Why? Let's see how in tune you are.
You want to get a little bit more money?
Oh, this is just this is going to be painful, but it'll be an interesting exercise to see.
Well, first of all, you want to get a little bit more, first of all, because you're covering the cost and you're also being able to make a profit on it, and you're able to potentially expand it even further if you have to. And for team's sake.
No.
Where are you going with that?
What's part of the House settlement?
True.
Am I alone in here?
You are on that one until you said it.
Right.
Yep, true.
What's part of the House settlement is the back pay part.
Payment, yep.
In the back pay part of it, 60% of the money is coming from NCAA reserves. 40% is coming from the next 10 years of NCAA distributions.
Mm-hmm.
If you can work this out in such a way where you negate the losses of that, it's for the Power Four schools, or Power Five. And basketball's Power Five. You have to include the Big East. I mean, it's a dent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
sure.
But for the smaller conferences, it's a sledgehammer, and because they, for the most part, they get one. Well, if you can get more money per unit out of it, then it helps negate whatever losses may come up over the next 10 years because you have to pay this money into the House settlement for back pay.
You always want, and it's
just another day at the ballpark.
Well, basically economics too. You want to have a surplus. You want to have a surplus.
What you're saying is absolutely right.
You want to have a surplus.
I'm saying what you're saying is absolutely right. There's nothing wrong with what you said. You are absolutely correct. You want more money, the whole deal.
Yeah, you want the surplus
but you do have this issue hanging over you. That in order to pay for it, it's going to come out. 40% of it's going to come out of NCAA basketball tournament distributions.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
You need to. Also, I think the next negotiating round, which is 2032, you'll probably start negotiating in 2030.
Yeah,
it has the potential to make the tournament maybe a little more valuable.
Sure.
Yeah, you're getting about $1 billion a year now.
Absolutely. And it's, for a basic perspective of the average Joe, do you want your savings account to be pretty even, or do you want to have extra money there just in case you lose money at some point and it's there?
Right. So that's what they're doing. That's what they're working on. And maybe by the end of the summer, we'll have an answer on it. Now, when it would start, I don't know. That's the other part I don't know. When would you start it?
Can't.
Excuse me. I mean, do you start it in 26, 27? Or do you come out of the gate and do it now? Which you could.
You could. Yeah, you have time.
I mean, if the TV partners and the arena can be set up, yeah. Now, so let's do percentages here. Okay. Let's do percentages here. At the current rate, the number of the percentage of teams that make the NCAA basketball tournament is about 19 right now, 19%. So what do you have? 68 into 363. It's 18.7%, so it's 19%. Now say you go 76. What do you increase it to?
Yeah. That's
21. It's 21%.
Yeah.
It's 21%. Football, if you go to 16.
Which they're going to do.
Right. It's 12%. So when you're talking about 4 out of every 5 schools, even under a 76 plan, approximately 4 out of 5 schools will not make the NCAA basketball tournament. Okay? In football, even if you go to 16, that means 88% will not make the college football playoff. Now, what it does bring up with it is the grind. Those who are in it, it's a grind.
Yeah.
No doubt about that.
No question.
But 88% are not in it. If you go to 16, 12% make it.
Yeah. Yep.
If you go to 76 in the NCAA basketball tournament, you'll go from 19% to 21%.
Yeah. And even the players players and teams from a spectator perspective last year now, well, you expand it to 16 is a little different, but now you know the grind a little better because of last year. I think when you look at how far it went, where you're playing those games, placement is going to be the same this year. So I think that's the other big part of it. I think you're a little more used to the schedule now as opposed to where it was with 4 teams. Now you're seeing where it is with 12. You have a better idea, I think, of where you're going to see where it's going to be with 16. So I think it's helping a lot, keeping it at 12 right now. These teams, even the ones that don't make the playoffs, are going to be used to the schedule at this point. Not necessarily the practice grind from a player's perspective, but you know now where you're looking at from a scheduling perspective.
Right. Exactly. So that's where it is. And you have to bring out what the percentages happen to be because there's the perception, oh, well, everybody's making it. Well, no, not everybody's making it. I know last year 14 out of 16 SEC schools made it. The Big Ten had 8.
Right.
But that's not, everybody makes it. No, not everybody makes it.
No.
Okay? 88% in football don't make it. Right now, 81%. Actually, right now, it's 9%. Right now, 91% of the schools don't make it in the college football playoff. Right now, 81% of the schools in college basketball don't make it. So the percentage will change to 79% that don't make it, and in football, it'll be 88% don't make it. It's not as great a percentage as people think it is in terms of how many people actually make it. And that's something you have to have the ability to bring that out and bring it into the conversation because it is too easy to go with narratives. Oh, it means everybody's going to make it. No. Over here in the back. Can take a moment, take a calculator. 32 seconds later, you can come up with the answer all by yourself. You don't need a narrative. You can come up with, take the calculator. You got one on your phone. Takes you 32 seconds. You can get all the percentages. Oh, geez. Only 19% make it? You mean 81% don't make it? Well, maybe the narrative is BS. Now, the SEC tried to blow that up last year. And that's one of the elements in the quad system that is so heavily weighted toward power schools. I think Penn State last year played, 31 games? Of the 31 games they played, I think 16 of them were quad 1 games. Maybe 18. It could have been 18. I think they played 18 quad 1 games. Okay. The SEC, you played a quad 1 game every night. From January 2nd to the end of the year, the end of the season, or the end of the regular season. How many quad 1 games did an SEC team play? Because they played against each other. They're all quad 1s. Crazy.
Yeah.
Penn State had more quad one wins than North Carolina.
Yeah. Carolina somehow backs its way in.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
translation, we didn't have enough SEC teams to get them in.
I mean, we can't invite one more SEC team, can we? Look, let's let North Carolina in.
Yep.
Come on in, North Carolina.
Now, if North Carolina resume was the same as, I don't know, Wake Forest, do they get in? No.
That's the thing. If you were to change out the names,
Yeah. Not a chance.
if you just
Not
did
a chance.
If you did a blind resume, now, I think they won 21 games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not the same.
No. Not a chance.
So the Bengals are waiting this week. The Bengals are quite the organization.
Oh, there's nothing like it.
Yeah, the Stewart thing they botched up, the Hendricks thing they botched up.
They're botching.
Okay.
They've got to have a pass rusher at some point.
Now they're trying to do the stadium lease. Have you seen this?
Oh, yeah.
In Hamilton County. A June 30th deadline looms for the Cincinnati Bengals and Hamilton County to agree on an extension for a new lease at Paycor Stadium.
Yeah.
The team's future in the city hangs in the balance.
And it's not like the lease expires in 2035 either. It expires next year.
Why in the heck would the Cincinnati Bengals think about going anywhere?
No.
What are your options?
No, there's no options.
I mean, come on. Hamilton County released 2 April offers exchanged with the Bengals earlier this month. Those showed a wide gap between the sides in terms of contribution, length, and type, but both sides have quietly gone about bridging the gap in the months since. The last regularly scheduled commissioners' meeting in Hamilton County before the deadline is set for 10 a.m. tomorrow and could initiate a vote among Hamilton County Commission President Dennis Dryhouse and fellow commissioners Stephanie Summerall-Dumas and Alicia Reese regarding a potential agreement. They are working on the many details that would lock the Bengals into Hamilton County for an extended period and finalizing a renovation project. Renovation? That stadium needs to be renovated?
Needs renovation already?
What?
What? Paycor Stadium? My goodness.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, no.
A critical part of the agreement involves the Bengals and the NFL contributing $120 million through a G5 loan, which allows the team to borrow from the NFL with a requirement to match the funds with their own money. That has been marked for renovations for 2 club lounges, concessions, and all 132 suites. Oh, the heck with the regular people sit where they sit.
Right. Yeah.
It's the G5 contribution that's the key. Well, first of all, they should be contributing. I mean, I've said this for years, right? Anytime, just in building a stadium or an arena, to me, it should always be 1/3 the team pays for it, 1/3 the league pays for it, and 1/3 paid by the community.
Yep.
Right? Why? Because all three benefit from having
absolutely. Sure.
it. Okay? The league needs the market and TV negotiations. The team obviously needs the arena to play in, and it's great for the community to have the team there. Right? To me, it's always nobody ever does that, but I've always said that. When asked about the concept of leaving Cincinnati during the league meetings in April, Executive Vice President Katie Blackburn, who's the daughter of President Mike Brown, did not rule anything out while emphasizing a desire to stay in Cincinnati. We could, I guess, go wherever we wanted after this year if we didn't pick up that option. Like I said, all these things will be done in due course. We are having discussions, so we're hopeful, and the county is thinking about it a lot too and wants to get it addressed in a way that would be beneficial to both of us. That's a nice, friendly statement. So, closest comparisons to this proposed renovation would be Charlotte and Baltimore. 1 year ago this week, Charlotte City Council approved an $800 million renovation to Bank of America Stadium. The city kicked in $650 million from hospitality taxes and tourism projects. David Tepper covered the remaining $150 million. The Ravens, Maryland Stadium Authority, are in the process of a 3-year, $489 million renovation, largely funded by the state. The Ravens agreed to $55 million in contributions. The deal signed in 2023 locked the Ravens in Baltimore through 2037. In Cincinnati, the end goal of both sides has stayed the same. So, we'll see. Then there's the Cleveland situation. They want to build a dome stadium outside the city. In the suburbs. Now, I understand the desire for a dome stadium because if you have a dome stadium, I mean, what now? I mean, if you have a dome stadium, let's go to what Washington's going to do. Level RFK Stadium, build a dome. Well, what can they do with that? They can host the Super Bowl.
Yeah, sure.
They can host the NCAA Final Four. Right? There's a lot of things you can do with it, plus concerts. Weather doesn't become a problem.
Sure, major events, period.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, weather doesn't become a problem.
No.
Right? Maybe getting there weather's a problem.
Yep.
But yeah. Wow.
Different world to what we saw in the 80s and 90s, where teams were playing on beat-up stadiums, where you shared stadiums with football teams. And
I talked to Jack about this so many times because Jack played in lousy stadiums.
yeah, Three Rivers, absolutely.
Well, not just Three Rivers.
Bad.
He played at Cincinnati. I mean,
Candlestick was terrible.
Busch Stadium
Yeah.
in St. Louis.
County Stadium, Milwaukee was another one.
Right, but I'm talking about this AstroTurf.
Fulton County Stadium.
Okay, that AstroTurf that they played on, and they threw chemicals on those fields. When,
They did, and it unfortunately it played a role in people's health.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They threw chemicals on it because we don't want ice, whatever. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
guys are sliding on this stuff. It's getting kicked into their eyes. Their mouth may be open at the time. Come on, what they did back then was just so
terrible.
Wrong. Jack told me they come out of games, they're all scraped up. Just on a day where it's just a sunny day like today, they come out of the game all scraped up and everything, playing on that stuff. And it's hard as a rock.
Sure.
I mean, you've been on field turf. I mean, that day you were chasing John Lynch around. I never saw anybody kick up so many pellets in my life.
Yeah.
But it's better.
Yes.
It probably cuts down abrasions by about 90%.
No question.
I'd rather see grass. I feel every stadium should be
agree.
grass.
Agreed.
But that's me. All right. Another big show. I thought really was one of your best. That part where you put the house settlement 2 and 2 equaling, once again, equaled 7 for you.
That's right. Always got to raise the number somehow.
At least that shirt's not red.
That's right.
What's the P stand for? Phenomenal?
It does.
The only guy I know that came into work one day with an F on his shirt, and I said, what's the F stand for? He said, phenomenal.
That's right.
Just the scariest guy. Just so scary.